I'm great at sex.
Oh, come on, man.
I mean, I have a lot to learn.
That's actually pretty funny. Almost everyone. Jeez.
right now.
One guy.
Bro, this was a chance to redeem yourself.
No, I know, but it's just.
All right.
Actually, I'm gonna go back.
With my partner, my wife, I'm able to not only connect physically, but also emotionally. You know, and I think that's the biggest trick I've learned. Not trick, but the thing I've learned about my years of being with my partner. You have to sort of like, you know, keep the spice going.
I would say, you know, I think the fact that we have a woman who keeps coming back or who keeps wanting it, I think that, you know, that's a sign that she thinks you're great at sex. You know what I mean? Because she actively wants to keep it going and keep it going in that direction. I will say though, I'm better at sex with women I care about.
Yes.
You know, so I think, and me being a player and a guy who goes out and talks to a lot of different women, you know, if with my girlfriend or like my wife or whatever like that, sex would be great. With the other girls, it can still be good, but I know that I don't really put in that much effort because it's almost like I'm masturbating with someone.
And eventually, you know your partner's like comfortability, what they like, what they don't like, and things, and that's how you make sex a lot better instead of like sleeping with.
1,000%. Plus, you love them.
Right.
Like, so you knew if you were gonna die today and you could have sex with one person before you die, it would be that person. Like, no matter what, like you could have every supermodel, every movie star, everything. Like, fuck all that. Like, I want that person.
Focus so much on like what they like as well. You know, like you're kind of there to like pleasure them. You know, because you care about them so much.
Right.
Which is why like you would hyperfixate on like.
100% agree on with all their points so far. Sex with my ex-wife was wonderful, great, because I cared for her. Sex after was somewhat okay, but the women that had sex with me thought it was great because they've never had someone that was passionate about sex like I was. Well, it was hard because I was passionately having sex with one person for 14 years or so. So my sex is different than most men that just go out there and just pump and dump, right? Because of that dynamic, I felt like a lot of women felt that I was better than most, and they came back. They came back because they enjoyed the sex. Most of them actually told me that they enjoyed the sex, which is a little surprising. And yeah, it's quite important to be good at it. And they're not wrong when it's saying that people that pump and dump and people that have a little bit of passion towards that person, it is a different sex. And women notice this. Women notice this greatly. Because there's times where, most of the time when I meet a woman, I give them I give them good sex. After a while, here and there, depending on if I'm interested in them or if, man, this is just becoming a pump and dump kind of thing. And then I lose those urges, and the women actually notice. They're like, "Oh, what's wrong? You're not so as you usually are." And it's because I don't have that passion. Like, yeah, in the beginning, it's novelty, and I'm like, "Oh, maybe this person can be that." That's how I, at least in my mind, and I give them that. And then once I don't build that connection, this is just like that, you know, post come, you know, like realization. I was like, oh shit, maybe I don't like this person as much. And then I put a little bit of less effort in, and yeah, most women notice these things.
Like, what do they like, what they don't like, and you can easily like adjust yourself and put in effort for that person.
And like, for instance, it's so true that you said that, because my wife and I, we have this thing we call the love menu. Okay, you know, why did we invent the love menu? We invented the love menu because we have 3 children, and they're only 2 years apart. They're in the mid-20s now, but you know, think about it. 2, 4, 6 at home, and I'm working and she's doing her thing. So we found that in our young relationship, sometimes the other person might be tired and like but that's hurt feelings. That makes you kind of do this type of thing. So what we did is we come up with a love menu of like, here's the appetizers. I might not be ready for the full course tonight, but here's your appetizer because I know you like this, or here is your dessert, or here's your main course meal. And we broke it into those things. So when we do come to each other and we need that connection, it's not just like, I'm tired, I don't feel like it. It's kind of like, well, what's going to happen? We got a full course meal tonight, or we're just going to have some appetizers? And that's kept it spicy for us. And also, like what you say, making sure we're pleasuring each other. It's not just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, I need to get my rocks off. But like, you know, how are you feeling about that? And how are you feeling about that? Because when you're in a long-term committed relationship, you have to do that or it dies.
Right.
And I love that. I love that you talk about the amount of intention that you live with in regard to making sure that you're always evolving with it, always making sure that it's spicy. You just care. I think if you have a genuine care for the other person that you're involved with, then maybe you're not great right then and there, but it will eventually develop into being something that way. So I love that care that you demonstrate with that.
I'm interested in what you had to say. You've been very quiet on this one. You're usually like...
All he said was, "Look at the receipts." You know, he knows it.
And look, and that's a very important thing, right? Is so I think that as a man, I hate to say, actually I don't hate to say, that you should come in confidently. And I do find by and largely, it's kind of like you could have the alpha beta argument. I do that thinking coming in kind of in a dominant way. There's a reason 50 Shades of Grey is so popular. There's a reason it's the most read book of all time. There's a reason there's detail in it. And I think you can say so much to a woman in sex without saying a word. You know what I'm saying? It's about how you touch her, how you have your hands on her, the way you take over her in that way. And that's okay. Just knowing and seeing that expression and seeing things that happen and as a result of that is enough for me to know where I stand on the subject.
The only thing I disagree with you about is I agree with that energy, that take control energy. And I think one woman does love that. But sometimes my wife likes to take control. And I love it.
Well, get up there, girl. Get up there, girl, and do what you got to do.
You know, like
I'll put my hands behind my head too. Yeah, cowboy. Hey, don't worry. But by and largely, yes. And then when she wants to, but even when you're on bottom, man, you still doing work, bro. It's all about dancing, bro.
I don't want to get negative, but I have sex tattooed on my chest. Can I?
Bro, it wouldn't take much.
It's right here on my rib.
Okay. All right, and it's like an old one too, not even like a...
Yeah, it's a fucking...
I think the biggest thing I've ever heard from my sexual partners is like, wow, you really caught me off guard. And I think that's like a big part of it.
So is this like an argument with myself?
Tell us why you're terrible at sex.
You missed it. He stripped.
No, I did see that. I saw it. I disagreed because I just feel like it's such a typical conversation and belief that every guy believes they're great at sex. And to be real, when I talk to my girlfriends, none of them have good sex with guys, unless it's, like you guys said, your partner. Then you can get better at it, right? And you know what they like. So that's what I mean. Like, I think I'm great with my girlfriend, but if I was to generate and say, like, I'm great at sex, I'd be like, oh, I didn't, almost every girl I slept with before probably never even got off really. But to say like,
I can somewhat agree and disagree. Again, when I got back into, dating and all that, I was really passionate about sex. I put a different effort than most women. This is what women tell me, at least. They say, what you're doing is much more than what most men are doing. And like, you seem to be very into it and you're not just doing it just to do it. I think that matters. Just that alone can make a man better than most other men. They don't have to be even that good, but because they put in that intimacy into it, it actually makes it better for the partner.
I'm great at sex. I can bring a dildo in. Like it's just like I'm nothing against that. Like I like all kinds.
I didn't mention a dildo.
Why'd you look at me like?
I was wondering why you said that.
No, I'm just saying that. Like, you still looked at him. You look like the type. No, I'm kidding. I didn't get that. But it's like I just feel like there's a lot for me to learn even now with my partner, and I just like to say I'm great. I don't say that to myself because I think that blocks me from something that I might not be good at, actually.
No, I agree. I completely agree with the aspect that, like, honestly, there's always room for growth. Like going around thinking that you're like the best is like is not something that I agree with, but more so that, like, especially with someone that like a partner, like that you actually want to give the effort into, you learn. Like, it doesn't always have to go like perfect the first time. You pick up things. Like, everyone's different, man and woman. So, like, honestly, like, it's...
But that's what when that question says I'm great at sex, like, that to me tells me you could line up 10 girls and 9 out of 10 you would know exactly what to do.
Sometimes
with
it's just like a
No, not 9 out of 10, bro. If you're good at sex, you're just better than average. You're better than average. So if you can line up 10 and 6 of them say you're good, I'd say you consider you're good at sex. Or at least you're better than 50% of men. So like
Confidence. Like I am confident that I can achieve good sex.
Exactly, right. 'Cause that's what I'm saying. Because the thing is, I look at it like, because you're saying, well, being the best, you can't really say being the best, but I disagree. I look at it as I am the best, but I'm choosing to be great with this person. And so what I'm saying is I can be really great with this one other girl, but I choose not to. And I do that purposely. And the reason why I do it purposely is because, like I was saying earlier, when we talk about friends with girls and all that other stuff, is that women have to earn good dick. That's how I look at it. You understand what I'm saying? So if I'm with a woman where I just met you at the bar and we're just hooking up, I'll give you some, like I should say women should earn great, but I'll give her some good, but it ain't gonna be great because you haven't earned it. You're not my girl. You haven't done anything.
You're not gonna go the extra mile for her.
Right? Exactly. I'm not gonna go the extra mile for a new girl. Like,
I agreed with the.
I can agree with that.
I agree with the mentality, but then not the statement.
I'm just not gonna do all that for a new girl. I'm not gonna do that. So I can't. So what I'm saying is that the greatness comes from within you to know that you can, but you have to make the decision to do that. And I think most guys, if they care about a woman, they'll do that because that woman, in some form or fashion, has earned that type of energy from him. And that's how I look at it.
It's like, I completely agree, but I just want to change the word earn to something else. Something similar, but that means a little different. Because like, you don't want to give as much effort to like other people that you don't really you see like long term with. But then like, obviously if it's like a partner or someone that you can see a future with, you know that you can keep, improving. You can be like the best,
What's wrong with earn? Like, we have to earn women's affection and earn women's, gaze. Why can't women earn good dick? What's wrong with that?
For that person.
Who thinks that great sex is more mental or more physical? Which one would you raise your hand?
Well, which one? Say one of them.
Who thinks that great sex is more mental?
I mean, I think it's more mental.
Okay. Who thinks great sex is more physical?
The reason why I sat down and then I stepped back is because stepping down, sitting down, it was just kind of like that societal pressure of, we all agree like men have to be really great at sex. And I had to check myself out of my ego and take a step back because it can't be 9 out of 10. It has to be 10 out of 10. I know I've had, one night stands and I can't account for every single partner that I've had if they had a great experience or not. I could just be honest with myself and say I did my best, but for whoever is going to be my partner next, you have to have that.
That's the thing for me. I haven't had that very many one night stands. I've actually gone on dates and done things with these women to where I've had sex with them, and that's where I build the connection, and it's a little bit different. So I can understand where he's coming from.
Like that sense of like open-mindedness in a way, because what they might think they want from you to make you great, you might not agree with even trying. I get what you're saying about women having to earn great, but I feel like at the same time,
Why is it so funny coming out of your mouth?
I feel like I told you I'm a comedian. I feel like at the same time, women's needs are a lot different than men's in bed. So what might be, easy for you, like a quick 1-2, they're expecting, maybe more foreplay or more physical intimacy or, and with the whole like BDSM with like 50 Shades of Grey, I think that appeal to like a certain subset of women and their fantasies, but I don't think that accounts for all women.
I think it's a great fantasy, but I think if you put most women like really say, do you want that? They'd be like, I don't want that.
Nah, they really want it.
Nope, they want it.
Women?
I'm gonna go a little hot take. You gotta be good in bed, man. You just gotta. If you don't lay down good pipe, you're not gonna be able to keep your women, because women nowadays have had so much pipe in them, majority of those women, that they compare like almost every single one of them. And if you are not better, or at least one of the top, you're probably not gonna keep that relationship for a long period of time. I could be wrong, but through my experience and through my research, good dick seems to matter, and it matters a lot. And if you can't provide it, someone else will. So please like and subscribe down below. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys next time. It's chat time.